blow.
But then this guy fixed it today, so I'm like, I couldn't look at my arm for like the last 3 months. It was terrible. I didn't wear short sleeve shirts or anything.
Shorty. N poem or D's poem?
Huh?
N poem or D's poem?
D's phone. Come on. You know that.
Norm, N poem?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Boy. Anybody want to read our lifestyles? Molly? Girl.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about it. So great.
You know what's cool about this? Not only did it make peace here, I got sober, but first day I walked through both doors with one
Really? That's cool. That's cool. I like that. I like it.
You're looking right. We got
all day.
What? No. Well, yeah.
I'm joking. I would never do that.
We changed the seats.
I know.
Right?
You got everybody that disagree with
What's that? No, it will be. We changed them just to sit down or whatever.
How are you?
And I'll talk to you afterwards about some stuff.
Pretty good, pretty good.
Anything good? Facebooking?
Yeah.
Okay. Love the shirt tie.
Copied off of him?
That's what I'm talking about. What's that number 13? Oh, 8, even better. I want to get one that says my number will be 00. Is that a number?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 2 numbers.
Oh,
00.
nice.
Right?
Double digits.
Double digits.
Look. There.
You on there, brother? Man, where is everybody?
We've been Is it all in our
Everybody's like, oh, I'm just gonna sit at home and watch it from now on.
Right? Right. I don't need to go there.
Well, they did say it was a level 2 snow emergency earlier.
What, rain?
It was snowing pretty hard.
Yeah.
They have a level 3 out? I think it said it was level 2 earlier.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
That's crazy.
I heard it was like 8 inches of snow.
It's rain with a couple of flurries.
He said rain with a couple of flurries.
good riding weather?
Yeah, man. Did you ride in? No? Right.
8 years was enough for me.
Right.
I mean, now it's so stupid.
Right.
I mean, some say I'm dumb, but not that dumb.
Right?
Hey Todd, can you see how many people, like, after, like, how many people watched the live meeting?
Yeah. The first night there was like 600. I mean total. I mean it says the count. I haven't looked at it in a while. But Steven's interacting with people chat-wise as soon as it starts. So. Yeah, there's just dialogue on there, and so it's on our Facebook page when the meeting's over. You can see where people will say, "Hi, I'm here from Florida. I'm here from Arizona." You know, and we'll evolve as we go. You know? But we want to have interaction with people live as it's going, in case they have a question. Where do I get more info? Or, you know, whatever. Yep.
Never get tired of looking at yourself, do you?
What's up, buddy? All right, dude.
Jeff Smith. Nice to meet you.
Timmy, nice to see you.
This is that race to sobriety.
This is it. You're in the right spot.
I know all about it.
Oh, there's a person. I was like, man, I'm going to have to write a lot tonight.
It's crazy. Dude, it's it's crazy.
Yeah. Be very careful.
I never got that hoodie.
Sold to.
But pink suits you really well, though.
Brighter than I remember.
I see.
Yeah, let me know. Can you possibly look at it today or no?
Maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, dude. I bet.
Just walking in the door. When you called me last night for the movie,
I mean,
Those green or those gray are safety zone if you want to go in
just
there.
walking in just to let you know.
Doesn't
that I
matter?
wasn't gonna
Okay.
go. Yeah.
Hey, Brian, let me know.
Okay.
You're on? Okay. I'm going to wait a minute.
Okay. I was just letting you know. I was just. I just gotten home, man. Just gotten home.
All right, I opened it up.
Oh, yeah.
Joe, you ready?
You know it. How you doing?
Check out the trail.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah. Come back. Did you get it back?
Across the road.
Wait for it to warm up.
Yeah, I know. I was supposed to go with a buddy. We're going to go.
Okay, guys. Kelly's not here to whistle us in, so let's go ahead. Is the weather that bad outside, or
No.
what's up?
Horrendous.
Yeah. Okay, let's get started. Thank you for attending the Racing for Recovery Support Group meeting. We are focused on maintaining a drug-free and healthy lifestyle. Since 2001, our open forum meeting welcomes parents, adolescents, recovering individuals, and anyone who supports our mission. Your suggestions, comments, or ideas are welcome to make our meetings the best they can be. The Racing for Recovery Support Group meeting is a cutting-edge alternative to what is currently offered. By combining substance abusers, families, friends, and the public at large, we have created an environment that is beneficial to everyone who has been affected by alcohol and drug addiction. Our meeting start time is 7 p.m. Please try to be on time. Please turn off and stay off your cell phones, and please only one person speaks at a time. We will gladly sign any proof of attendance that you need. If you leave them outside in the hallway in the little green bucket there, we'll get them signed for you. You can pick them up when we're done with our discussion. Honesty is required. Feel free to openly share your comments and points of view on how alcohol and drug addiction has impacted your life. This meeting is open to people of all ages and welcomes diversity. So please refrain from using excessive foul language or language that discriminates against any race, gender, religion, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or disability in order to maintain an atmosphere of respect and dignity for all who are present. If you see a visitor, a new member, or a returning member that you haven't seen in a while, please warmly welcome them into our program. And lastly, please do your best from getting up and walking out of the meeting while it's in progress. Who has our lifestyles of recovery? Molly.
The lifestyle of recovery guidelines are intended to be utilized by recovering individuals, their families, and to avoid substance abuse and achieve sobriety. 1. Recognizing that substance abuse ruins lives. 2. Wanting to pursue positive alternatives to substance abuse such as our education, employment, quality relationships, and health and fitness. 3. Using resources such as friends, family, teachers, and peers as a way to achieve and remain sober. Adding sports, art, or music to these resources will help us stay focused and motivated. 4. Defining balance and working toward making it a part of everyday life. 5. Building self-esteem and confidence through sobriety to combat negative feelings regarding oneself. 6. Understanding that negative behaviors of isolation and self-pity lead to self-destruction. 7. Lifting a person up is different than allowing them to continue their destructive lifestyles. Be there for yourself and be patient with your friends and family. 8. Learning how to help without supporting the addict's behavior. Providing assistance to the recovering individual that will improve their lives, not further their usage. 9. Recognizing personal challenges and integrating them into our lifestyles as challenges to triumph over. And 10. Caring for our personal, emotional, physical, and spiritual individuality is the source we use for our sense of worth. Each person is truly magnificent. Our mission at Racing for Recovery is to prevent all forms of substance abuse by promoting a lifestyle of fitness and health for all those affected by addiction.
No grammatical errors in there, we're all set? Molly's my spell checker, has been for a while. Okay, is there anybody here for their first ever Racing for Recovery meeting tonight? I don't think so. Bunch of veterans here tonight? Cool, all right. All right, here's what we do. Everybody knows what we do. So the folks that are tuning in live for the first time at Racing for Recovery, we go around and everybody's going to get the opportunity to simply say who you are and why you're here. You don't have to say you're an addict or an alcoholic. We pretty much understand that if you're sitting in here tonight. If you need to say that for your own recovery, please feel free to do so. But here again at Racing for Recovery, we want to know who you are, why you're here, and how we can help. Joe.
My name's Joe, and I'm the camera guy. I come here because Thursday nights are, it's what I do. I come here, and every time I leave here, I feel way better than I did when I came in. So I'm going to keep that positive streak rolling tonight.
Mike.
And I come here to this program because it's teaching me how to be sober.
I'm Esther, and I'm here to support my son, Michael.
I'm Brian. I'm here to support my brother Michael.
My name is Patrick, and I'm here because Racing for Recovery is showing me that it's possible to lead a healthy, productive, sober life.
I am Kat, and I'm here for strength, support, and knowledge, and because this has become my second home.
I'm Mike. I come here because this place changes lives every day, and I'm happy to be one of them. And I'm also very happy to say I'm 100 days sober today.
That's awesome.
My name's Daryl. I come here because I need some type of structure in my life.
I'm Beth, and I'm here for the positivity.
My name is Brandon. I'm here for positivity. I got 8.5 months sober today.
My name is Jerry, and I'm here to learn.
My name is Bob. I'm here to support my son Bob and support everybody else.
Hi, I'm Penny. I'm Bobby's mom. I'm here to listen, learn, and continue to feel that sense of hope.
I'm Bob. I come here because it's part of my daily or my weekly routine. Well, daily routine. I'm here almost every day. The building's open, so I just love coming here.
I'm Tom, and I started coming here 9 years ago with my son James, and I can't prove that Racing for Recovery saved his life, but I'll always believe it did.
I'm Charles, I'm here to listen and support if all possible.
I'm Paulette. I've never been here before, but I'm here to support Charles, and I'm also here because I need to recover from lack of knowledge.
Awesome. Renee.
I'm Renee, and I come on Thursday because this place gives a parent hope over addiction.
Hi, I'm Virginia, and I'm Megan's grandmother.
I'm Megan. I'm here just to remember what I'm doing with my life.
I'm Emily. I'm here because I have a lot going on right now, and I just need support.
I'm Diane. I'm Emily's mom, and I'm here to support Emily, especially right now. She's going through a lot, and here to support anybody else that needs help.
Jeff.
Oh, Jeff Smith. I'm here because I spent 26 years of self-destruction using alcohol and drugs because I didn't know any other way. And back in 06, I think it was, I started coming here, and it saved my life. I'm just having to think about that, remember what I'm doing. That's pretty cool. But anyways, good to be here.
I'm for recovery, and I'm here because this place saves lives, and it's all about a new lifestyle. Thank you.
I'm Derek, and I've been in recovery since 2001, but I have recovered in 2011, so I'm coming up on a lot of years. Thanks.
I'm Tatiana, and I come here because I love hearing all the different positivity around here and how people get better each day, and this also become my second home too.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I like to come to Thursday night meetings because, especially recently, I'm coming up on a year, and it helps me remember that with my actions, there's always consequences, and I'm not the only person who may benefit or suffer from those choices. So, especially racing, hearing other family members talk keeps me in check and lets me know what's important.
Hi, I'm April, and I'm here for the positivity and to listen and learn.
I'm Molly, and I'm here because I love Racing for Recovery's holistic approach.
The back.
I'm Steve, and I'm here to stay on the right track. I'm Dave, I'm here to support my son Steve.
I'm Nikki, I'm here for support.
My name is Ben, come here to stay out of trouble with the laws from drinking and doing drugs. Can't really afford getting any more trouble, and this place helps, so it's fun.
I'm Justin, here giving good support.
I'm Carolyn. I believe in second chances, third chances, fourth chances. I support anyone that keeps trying.
I'm Molly. I am here. I normally come with my husband to support him. I'm not an addict. He is an alcoholic. And he was, he had a month and a couple days under his belt, and then he drank. And so now he is, it's like, oh, you know, it's that big of a deal. I drink Friday, I drink Sunday too, by the way. He didn't tell me till this week, and he just said, but it's not a big deal. It's not, I still count my days, I still go, and I am, when we first started coming, before he checked himself in over to Arrowhead, my bags were packed. We have 4 kids, 15, 13, 10, and 2. And we've been through the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, too many Kansas. So our bags were packed, and I said, we're leaving. We're leaving. When you wake up, we'll be gone. And in the morning, he didn't go to work, and he checked himself in Arrowhead. So I stayed to see him and to support him. I don't have anywhere else to go to. Nobody in my family has gone through this. My friends haven't gone through this. So my first thought at this point was to pack my bags and leave. And if there's a reason for me to help them through this, maybe you guys can give me a little advice.
You're in the right spot. Yeah.
Hi, I'm here for support.
Hi, I'm Logan, I'm here for some positive support.
My name's Rick. I'm here in memory of my son Jacob. I'm here to support the program and the great people in it. I'm here to celebrate all the milestones and success stories, and also the dynamic changes that this program keeps going through. It's fascinating to just, event after event and change in programs. So, and I'm also here to remind that life is short and it's fragile, and we don't always get another one more time, one more chance. And when that happens and we leave behind, a lot of loss and hurt, that doesn't end for the people you leave behind.
I'm Mike. I'm here because the program changed my life. I'm also here because I value my life today.
I'm Rachel. I'm here because I value this program, and I love everyone in it. And I support everyone here because I'm just really proud of the families that come and support their loved ones. It's really great to witness because I'm a family member, and it's awesome when I see family members here supporting their loved ones and seeing them through.
Hi, I'm Steven. I'm here because this place literally saved my life and made me the man I am today. And I just love coming back. It's great.
Hi, I'm Michaela. I haven't been here in a little while, but I love coming here because I love hearing all the positive stories and the success stories that everyone has. So.
Hey, I'm Jess. I'm here for support and hope and positivity, and because the people here that I choose to surround myself with have been able to love me and support me until I can get to that point on my own.
Right on.
I'm Becky. Jess's mom. And I'm here because I felt very welcome last week.
You're always welcome.
And a lot of support.
I don't want to talk after you. Julie, I'm Joe's mom, and I'm here because this is the first place we felt hope.
I'm Bill. I'm here to support my son Joe and anybody else. And Molly, just keep coming for yourself, if not with anybody else. Because there is hope here, and you just got to keep coming.
Hi, I'm Susan, and I'm here because I love this place.
I'm Jeff, and I come here because I believe in this awesome program, and by doing that, it has allowed me to believe in myself.
I'm Randall. This program let me figure out who I am, and that's all I ever wanted.
My name's Norm, and I come because, like everybody else said, it works. It's always worked for me for almost 2 years, and I like the consistency. It just keeps me going.
I'm Brendan, and I like coming here because I find attributes in the people in this room that I would like to have myself. So surrounding myself by positive people, positive results.
I'm Todd Crandall. I find myself saying this practically every week now. I'm honored and grateful to be a part of this program, plain and simple. I love coming here. Becky, hearing you say, I was so welcomed here, it's like, yeah, that's what we do every single time someone walks through those doors or calls us or emails us or whatever. You're always welcome with open arms regardless of what's going on. That will never change. Okay, who has the answer? Dee's poem. Shorty.
The answer by Dee. Running from the misery, trying to escape the pain. As I approach the light of hope that lies before me, each step overwhelms me, every breath sears my throat. I ache, my body rebels against me, My memories torment me. Agony has become my closest companion. My demons mock me as I dangle helplessly above the abyss of alcohol and drug abuse. The voices all sound the same, criticizing, accusing, blaming me for what has happened. They don't understand. They don't care who I am. I am a human being, full of thoughts and feelings. I'm worth saving. Just show me the way. At last, I reached the light of promise. There stands the answer. Open arms, understanding smiles, looks of trust. And so it begins, racing for recovery.
Okay. Paulette it was, right? Paulette. You were our new person. I didn't acknowledge that. Did you raise your hand when we started? I said if anybody knew.
Well, I probably did, but you know, I'm so far back here. Nobody probably saw.
Well, yeah, I need to put on my glasses to see you back there. But anyway, so you're our new person here tonight. And again, those who are tuning in for the first time to learn about Racing for Recovery. As you can tell from the introductions, this format that we have that we started in 2001, it welcomes everybody who's been affected by addiction. And just listening to the introductions, which to me are an intricate part of what we do, is you learn who's here and why. And it's half of family members trying to figure out how they effectively support their loved ones. And then for us as either a current substance abuser, about what your choices either do or don't do to your loved ones, right? So this is an open forum where if you have a question, ask it. If you want to make a comment, talk about it. We're here just to help everybody who's been affected by addiction, and that's what we do here. So a couple quick announcements. All of our information is listed on our website, or there's literature out in the hallway. We are going to start doing another new feature at Racing for Recovery because Rick's always asking us what's coming next. So we're going to start interviewing success stories and doing like a video podcast, if you will, where people can sit up here and we're going to interview you and you get to talk about how awesome you're doing and how this program has helped you and how you want to help someone else. If you're interested in that, contact us. And we're going to start doing that weekly too. We don't know if we're going to do it live yet, or we may do it live one day and not the next day. Doesn't matter. If you want to share your story, let's do it. We're going to put it up for people to see. Other than that, let's get started. Let's do this. And I want to read a fact. I wrote this down when we were starting the meeting tonight. This is a fact, and I love speaking in facts. People do attain and sustain sobriety, and families heal. Molly. Families heal. But both sides have to do their part to make that happen. So I'm going to have Jeff read something that he read from our educational group this morning, reading from our book, and then we'll tie in a conversation about that. Go ahead, buddy.
Honored to better stand up for this. But you know, if anybody that's new in here or doesn't have a copy of this book, it's truly awesome. You know, sometimes I don't share a lot, because when I do share, I always want it to come from my heart. And sometimes it's hard for me to do that, like to put the words and speak them clearly. But I read this book a lot, and I've really read it a whole lot in the past month, I'm going to say. And, you know, you know, in recovery, you know, you'll hear people in these rooms say that recovery isn't always easy. And that's true. And one of the hardest parts for me, and it has to do with lifestyle number 7, and it's being patient with your friends and family. You know, I read this often, and we have a Monday night book study meeting, and we're on this chapter in Monday night. And Stephen, you just do such a great job with everything, with the book. But there's a paragraph in chapter 7, and it's called Taking Your Medicine. And it says, the brutal math of addiction forces you to make choices that no parent or sibling should have to make. I think that might be one reason that some loved ones are slow to come back. Your addiction gives them no choice but to be heartless and cruel. It changes them nearly as much as it changes you. Your best tools when trying to make amends are the ones I mentioned earlier in this paragraph, and that's empathy and humility. And it says, practice this phrase in the mirror. Now, I don't practice it in the mirror, but I practice it a lot. And it's a quote, and it says, I apologize for what I did to you. I empathize with your feelings, and I want you to know that I never intended to hurt you. And that comes from my heart, totally. And those things have such power, those words have such power and meaning to me, and I don't know, I'm just grateful to be standing up here and reading those words. Sure.
How about we have a conversation, bringing us all in with what we do. How are families healed? How have you recovered that has helped your family heal? Or even in Molly's case, how have you, and Renee, you can work with this too, how have you stood up for yourself that in essence is not enabling your loved one anymore, that may have helped them finally get it sorted for themselves? So basically what I'm asking here tonight is, how have the families that are in here, how have you come together? How have you healed? What have the struggles been, and what are the benefits of having your family back on track?
I'm Jamie. It's interesting that you brought that up because basically since I was 15, I was an addict. And my family never wanted to give up on me. It took chance after chance, and every time, this is it. I'm done. I promise this is it. I don't know how many times I promised them that this was it. And breaking my mother's heart and making her have to force her hand at putting me in the streets and shutting the door on me and saying, don't come back. You're ruining your life, our lives, your son's lives. You're ruining so many lives with the choices of you being so selfish. Until you can figure that out, we're done. We're washing our hands of you. And, that's when it finally hit home. Like, I don't think they realized how much they were enabling me by just allowing me to keep saying this is the last time over and over and taking me back. But like I said, I'm coming up on a year now. It has a lot to do with actions and not talk.
That's right.
I talk a great game. Nobody wants to hear my game anymore. They want to see the work being done, and I've done that. And hearing my mother cry, saying that she finally got her daughter back, is the most heart-wrenching thing that you could possibly hear from your mother. My 13-year-old son crying, saying that he's so happy mommy's not dead because he knows everything that's going on around town, It finally hits home when you have a clear head and you see the effects of what you've done to your family. It kind of makes it hard to even think about relapse and go back out, because I don't know that I could possibly live with myself putting them through that again. But I let them talk. I let them voice. I tell my son, if you're angry with me, talk to me. Tell me how I hurt you, and let's fix this. Let me tell you, and I won't make promises. There are no promises need to be made, because promises get broken and people's hearts get broken. Let mommy show you that I'm better, and from here on out, we're good. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And whenever he has a hard time and he's thinking about it, come to me. I can take it. I put you through hell. Please tell me how I affected you. And he's been amazing ever since. My family's back together, and I couldn't be more blessed.
You need to talk more often. Jeff, go ahead.
First, let me just say something that You know, we're all here because somebody a long time ago, you were talking about the things that happen with this program, all the new things that are coming out. 93, Ty got sober. He had the courage to pursue something that he truly believed in, and I've watched him over the years not only risk, but almost lose everything so that we could have this. And I truly, you know, I tell him all the time, thanks for, because it's not for him. We wouldn't have this program. If it wasn't for this program, I wouldn't have all of you. And if I didn't have all of you, I wouldn't have my life right now. So thank you to everybody, especially Todd. And it took a long time. You know, most people would have given up after 3, 5, 10 years. This is amazing what, you know, we've been able to put together. But thanks, brother, man. I'm always there for you. You know, you talked about humility and things like that. You know, over the years, I've been able to try to give back any way I can. He's dragged me to St. Croix. She's where Hollywood we went through, all over the place. You know, been involved with Running with Demons, the book, things like that. But I'm very proud of this program, proud of Todd, proud of everybody in here. But one of the biggest things that this program's taught me is to be open and honest. I was shocked when I first started becoming educated and reading stories and things like that. I'm like, really, dude? You're talking about all this stuff? They're going to know all this stuff. And I started becoming honest with my kids, not only my kids now, all extended family members, friends, strangers. I mean, I'm an open book, literally, figuratively. But anybody that asks, I'll tell them. You know, if they want to know something, I'm just honest. And I'm fortunate enough now to have, I know what true friendship is now. People accept me for who I am. They ask me advice, and I don't know, it's amazing. But my daughter is going into psychology and wants to potentially be a drug and alcohol counselor. I don't know why, but I kind of lost track because I don't know. It's just been amazing. But what was the question, Todd? I forget. But I'll pass that.
Kat, go ahead.
I forgot. I lost track.
Well, this is just something real quick. More of a sharing, not like advice. Like, as the meeting was starting, I whispered to Pat that I have a little anxiety just about being in here with the live whatnot. So that's before, you know, the topic was brought up. And I think that it always works out for me this way, that when I'm nervous about something, or like, I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to the meeting, or I don't want to whatever, and I go, like, and last night was an example of it too, like, just these weird things keep happening. This topic of family and healing and whatnot, you know, my mother and I are having a little bit, some difficulties, you know, and it's up and down as far as that sort of thing. And I'm getting my phone out just to be able to read this to you. But this morning, my mother sent me a message asking me, regarding for here, would you please ask for some literature for parents and healing? So it's just crazy that this is happening right now because she is at home watching.
Awesome.
So it's just another, like, man, like, there's something, you know. So that's all I'm just excited to be a part of this conversation. I'm not glad it's a topic.
Something special here. When Jeff read this earlier, put my glasses on. God, I'm getting old. The part when he read this in group today, and I apologize for those who were sitting in our IOP group, but I was really touched by what Jeff said. I've known him for a long time. We came into sobriety together, and as he was reading that, I think, oh my God, man, I've known this guy for 42 years or whatever, and to finally have him back where I know he needed to be for a long time, and he's here, and he's reading this, and he's doing things, and things are happening. It comes back to empathy, humility, and gratitude, and I used to struggle with this word, but I love saying it out. I can say love and really mean it. And it feels good, but when you read that today and it said about, I apologize for what I did to you, the first thing I said to myself is, God, I'd like to do over that in the book, because I know a lot of times our words early on don't mean anything because we've said it so many times. I'm sorry, I promise this is the last time, I won't do it again, and we have zero credibility. But the difference now through action, just you talking like that, it's not even saying anything like, I promise I won't do it this time, but you can feel it in how you're speaking and how you're speaking and living. And there's a difference in how the words are being presented that makes the difference, I feel, to loved ones, and that's what I'd want to learn from. And I do want to say this as well. The longer I am fortunate enough to not use drugs, the more care and empathy and admiration and love and respect I have for my family, for what they endured when I was self-destructing. When I do a speaking engagement and a video clip plays and it shows my dad talking and some of the things he says in there, I can't even contain myself watching him struggle, and that video was made 10 years ago. But it enhances the gratitude that I have that I'm not doing that today. And that feels like nothing I've never experienced in my life. To know that I'm just not hurting anybody, it's worth gold, eh? Just by us not hurting ourselves, we're not hurting our loved ones anymore. What a good deal that is. And it's free. It doesn't cost anything to not hurt yourself, and in tune you get your family back. But that takes time. And it's not by what we say, it's by what we're doing. But I love those things like that when it just happened tonight, right? What a coincidence, right? That's cool. Rein it in, Ma.
Say what you want to say. I did before.
Yeah.
I find so much peace here. This is like my 4th meeting on a Thursday. We've had some meetings personally with Todd. This guy's he's got some kind of special angel power or something, because it's the truth. It's not even a joke. Leaving you, Bob and I both, it's we feel wow, so much weight is lifted off of us. Being a mother, I was a young mother. Mothers, fathers, we all make mistakes. I was a young mother. And I was, after today, I went home and I started reading your book. And I had some quiet time to get in my head. Not always a good place, but it was okay today. And I was thinking, I can remember, taking Bobby for a walk around the block, a little boy holding his hand. Then I could remember, seeing him in elementary school and taking his hand. And then, he played football, and I could still see him till this day, coming, supposed to be mean, and him looking at me and his father and smiling, and feeling
love, like just love, you know? So like, okay, he made some bad choices. So why wouldn't I still take his hand? Like, why wouldn't I? I'm his mother. If your mother can't get over things that your child has done, then I think you gotta look inside of your own self. Words are words. Hey, the tongue is wicked. The tongue could slash you in 1,000,001 pieces, which it has. And he said some, you know, he has gone to places, and I've gone to places, and my husband, as a family, it's a very difficult thing when people are using. Because ultimately, as a mother, to some degree, I feel like, damn, where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong here? His father, same thing, like, you know, you beat yourself up. And like I said, you get in your head, and you're trying to think back, like, well, where exactly did it go wrong? Like, what did we miss? What was the sign that we missed? Because there was obviously, being a mother, I missed something, which is a lie. You know, I know now I didn't miss anything. It was just Bobby's choices. So, like, when you say, how does a family heal? I think forgiveness. I think if you don't forgive, then you're going to go off floating alone. I think forgiveness is major. There's 3 things that I believe. Hope. You wake up, every morning your feet hit that floor, you are hopeful for a good day. That day is in your hands. How you react, what you do, how you behave, that's on you. Faith. Faith is like this. Reel me in now. And love. Love is the greatest. I love him. I don't always like him, but I love him. You know, and that's the truth. All of us parents in here can honestly say there's times we did not like our kids or their choices. But you got to overpower that like with love. And that's just how I feel.
Bobby, you up? Did you have your hand up?
I mean, yeah, I did. But I was gonna say like the coincidence of like we have a family friend back home in New Jersey. And, I think she's watching. Her name's Diane. But today I reached out to her. She reaches out to me all the time, at least once a week, just seeing how I am. She lost her son 3 years ago, December. You know, so it'll be 4 years, you know, this year. And just in the IOP today, I thought of her, and I was like, I need to tell her, maybe tell her to watch the meeting, see if she would. And she messaged me back, and she's like, yeah, you know. And it's just weird how even that is like family healing. Like the first time I reach out to her and tell her to watch our live stream, it's this topic. That's all.
Yeah. No.
It's just it's crazy.
Awesome. Michael, you up?
Yeah, I just want to say out loud, there's a few different reasons of why this time is the last time. And I want to say thank you to my family who has supported me 100% this time and has made it possible for me to be sober. And I want to thank this program because somebody in this program, actually a couple people in this program, told me something that I've never heard before. And they said, you never have to use drugs or alcohol again in your life. Nobody's ever said that to me. And not only did they say it to me, but they're showing me that it doesn't even suck. Like, I really thought sobriety was like, if you would have told me that a year ago, I would have been like, well, okay, but that's going to suck. They're teaching me how it doesn't here. And I just wanted to say to my family that this time, that's the reason why this is the last time. is because somebody actually told me that I don't have to ever use drugs or alcohol again in my life. And that's, took a while to sink in, but it sunk in. And I'm ready this time.
I gotta ask you a question, Michael. Because I remember you saying sobriety sucks. When you first came in, what would you say to somebody who's walking in our doors for the first time that had the same mindset that you did? What would you say to them where you are now?
You never have to use drugs or alcohol again. That worked for me, and I hope it works for others. That you can find the root of what caused you to use in the first place, and through an holistic lifestyle you can deal with that trauma. You don't have to keep making bad choices. It's going to lead to more trauma, which is going to lead to bad choices, which is going to lead to more trauma. It's never going to end if you keep using. You don't have to use it, and it's awesome. Like, I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad I was able to share that. Thank you.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. Did Emily, where's Emily? She barked up? All right, Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, I just remembered what we were talking about, so I wrote it. The empathy thing, that was the biggest thing that Todd taught me, was empathy and that, like I said, the honesty and everything, and empathy for my kids, things I put them through. I just talked to them the other day about stuff. I said, I told them how proud I was of them, and I apologized for putting them through some of the things that I knew they went through, and but they overcame it. They're strong. We don't have any regrets. The things that we've been through made us stronger, built us character. We know we can get through anything together. But that whole empathy thing was something that I had to learn, and it was hard. But to truly have empathy for somebody and really care about people, and not have to try to manipulate them or anything to get what you want. And by the way, we should put that on a t-shirt. Sobriety, it doesn't even suck. That's pretty awesome. It doesn't even suck. But yeah, I'm having a hard time doing it now. I apologize because I'm a little tired. But I can't talk tonight. I cannot stay focused at all.
Renee, go ahead.
The whole tough love thing, as a mom, it is the most backward thing you ever do. And you feel, it's hard to tell your child they can't live in your home because of the choices and actions that they're doing, that you can't accept that behavior. And to tell them to leave, it's just unnatural. And even after doing that with her, she still lied. She still used drugs. And I remember the last time I picked her up from detox, she looked at me and it was just like I told her, I said, I'm seriously thinking I'm losing hope. I don't know if you're ever going to get this. I don't know if you're ever going to understand how not to do drugs. And granted, that was well over a year ago now. But it took 8 months and counseling sessions with God for me to understand, to let her grow up in recovery. She was grasping it. She was growing. I could see huge changes in her. And it's never as fast sometimes as a parent wants it. But I am so happy that she lives in my home and shares my washer and dryer. That I can fold her laundry for her. And that I'm able to do things as a mom that are natural to me and still not enable her, give her room to grow and continue to grow and be a wonderful sober daughter.
Molly, you're up.
So, I'm a mom of four, so I know the tough love. I can do that. I got a 15, 13, 10, and 2-year-old. I don't know the line with being a wife. He did his 30 days. He actually, his liver is failing. And that's how this all started. He's 38 and 37, his liver's failing. And his body started to just do all kinds of things, shut down. So we went in and it's been a roller coaster since with everything going on with his health. It didn't, when he found out about his liver, he didn't stop drinking. He's like, well, if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go. And he just continued to drink. And his doctor told him, you're gonna die, you're gonna die. Finally went in and he said, look, I gotta go to U of M, I gotta go to Cleveland Clinic. I need you to write me off. I need FMLA. I need you to write me off work. He's a pretty big supervisor where he works. And she said, all right, well, you show me, start going at A, start doing classes, I'll write you off. Went back to the appointment like a month later, and she asked, she's like, I want your wife to come, because your wife's not gonna bullshit. And so she asked me, I said, no, he hasn't gone to one. And she said, well, he said he stopped drinking, did he? About 36 a day. No, he hasn't stopped. So she said, I'm not gonna write you off. You go to check yourself in, let them handle it. He checked himself in, did all that, had been good for a month or so. And the appointment was coming up. I'm not sure, I guess the question is, I feel like an enabler right now, because what happened is we went to see the doctor, and he said, I want you to come with me, I want you to be there, I want you. So I went, and I'm a mom, so in the back of my mind, I'm like, are they telling me the truth? And I feel like I'm a mom of 5, not 4, because at this point it feels like he's my child, which I don't like at all. And she said, has he stopped drinking? And she said, have you stopped drinking? And then she looked at me, and I said, yeah. She said, have you gone to meetings? And she looked at me, and I'm like, yeah. And she said, have you gone? Do you know he's going? I'm like, yeah, I'm going like every day with him. Yeah. And so she said, good. I'll write you off. You'll get an extension. I know that that's a huge trigger, all the stress, all the whatever. That was on Thursday. On Friday, he found out that, because he was told because he was a supervisor, he would still get paid. Well, on Friday, he looked at his account, he's like, there's no check. What's that? And Friday night is when whether that was a trigger or not, that's what I'm hearing, that was probably the trigger, because he was raised around a lot of money, and I was not, so it doesn't matter to me. But his world, money is his world. So we saw that paycheck wasn't in there. And then Friday night is when we needed somebody to pick up my daughter, and he jumped up, I'll go get her. Normally it's like, no, he never wants to go get the kids. Well, that's when it happened. So I feel like, and then Saturday we went bowling, and he said, I gotta get out of here, it's too much for me. Frank, little did I know he already had Friday. And then Sunday he did again. And then he didn't tell me till Tuesday, but I'm feeling like, did he drag me into the doctor's office? Because she knows I'm gonna be honest and say, hey, yeah, I see really, really great, good change in him. And then she wrote him off. To me, I look at it as she wrote him off, and he's off now for a few months. And then he drank as soon as he got that write-off.
Can I be honest? Please? My dad, please listen to my words, what I'm going to say. When my choices no longer afforded me the opportunity to live in my parents' house. I need to say that again. It's not I got kicked out. When my choices no longer afforded me the opportunity to live in my parents' house, my dad said, you're out. I distinctly remember my father saying to me, I am not going to allow you to ruin our family. And I was drunk at the time, and like a bolt of sobriety, it hit me. It was like, this is going to get harder for me. But you know what? I still had no intentions to quit drinking. If my dad would have listened to my crap another time, I would have continued to do the same thing I currently was doing, except I would have been doing it in his home. If, and this is just my opinion, if somebody is going to allow me in any capacity to do what I'm doing in my addiction, where is the incentive to stop? There is none. None. If you want to help your loved one, get out of the way. Get out of the way. Don't do a darn thing that is going to help that person get a drink or a drug of any kind, period, ever. Yeah. Ever. The answer is no. When you stick to no, you give your loved one an opportunity to figure it out for themselves, that eventually they are going to heal and you are going to come back. But I'll tell you what, any girl that I dated that enabled me in any way to do what I was doing, I rode that train as far as I could. And when they finally said I had enough, I found another one or another person or another place or another thing to keep it going until I decided to stop. And there's nothing else that is going to change that. If I'm allowed to do this stuff, why am I going to stop? I remember back at the church years ago, there was a mom that came in that said, my son lives in my house, I drive him to his dealers, I pay for his drugs, and I allow him to do them in my house because I don't want him to die on the streets. And I said to her, Tom, you might even have been there, and I said, do you want him to die in your basement? Then what? Get out of the way. I can speak for me, I didn't stop drinking for another 8 years. But I remembered him saying it because it eventually got me to the point where I'm like, I'm done. Otherwise, I might be living in my parents' basement as a 51-year-old drunk if I made it that far. It's not your job or any other family member's job to get us sober. You're not getting us drunk, we're getting ourselves drunk. We need to get ourselves sober. That's how this works. I've never done this before either in a meeting. I want to read this because I think Jeff read it earlier. I think. Doesn't matter. And I was thinking of your husband for this, Molly. If you're in recovery, why are you there? What are you doing what is he doing in Arrowhead right now? Is it to get out of going to work or to keep the drinking going? If you're in recovery, why are you there? Are you there for the right reasons? And here's 4 questions to ask yourself. What got me into a recovery program or support group? Is this something I really wanted, or was I coerced? Am I prepared to see it through no matter how hard it gets? Am I prepared to listen to grievances from my loved ones and take responsibility for them? Those are 4. If you don't have a crystal clear, productive answer for those 4 questions, don't go home until you figure it out and give me an answer to that. That's just my opinion. God forbid if my kids get involved in this, that'd be one of the things I'd say to them. Because otherwise, it's just more manipulation, lies, and emotional torment that we're going to put you through. And you don't deserve that.
So 2 things. I need that book. And 2, apparently somebody, Arrowhead, told him, I don't know. I told him, I don't know what you drank, how much. You found it. If you don't think it's weird that you went out of your way to hide it and drink it away from me, and here's the other thing. I know tough love, but I love my kids. And I have told them, don't you ever get in a car if somebody's parent has had a drink, a sip, don't you get in that car, you call me, I don't care what time it is. You didn't think it was weird that you know how I am as a mom and you drank a beer while going to get our daughter? You found it was so urgent He says that somebody, Arrowhead said, it wasn't really a relapse because it was just one beer. And I said, what about Arrowhead? No, because it was just.
No, we're going to keep it, make it, I'm not trying to turn this in, whatever, I do what I do. Listen, this is, and I relapse, I get that, don't use that word relapse in this room. We don't do relapse in here. This is a cognizant choice. It's not a slip, it's not a fall. You're making a cognizant choice to poison yourself that is ruining your life, your family's life, and the community's. Relapse is not a part of recovery. People die when they make a choice to use again. God forbid if somebody in our group ever said to a family member in here, oh, it's okay, relapse is a part of recovery. It's just alcohol. It's not a full-on relapse. It's a slip. And they go out and they die. I don't want that on me or our program. We do not do that. Like Michael said, and it worked. You never have to use drugs again. If somebody's telling me that relapse is a part of recovery, that means I got another one in me. Every single time. Oh, it's part of recovery. It's okay. It's not. It's a choice, not a relapse. Learn that first and foremost. Start setting these walls of it's this, it's not. There's no gray. Sober or not. Period. I'm not lecturing you, I'm just passionate about what I do. You know? Because if we are given any leeway in this, we're gonna take it. Every time. I don't know one substance abuser in here that's gonna go, no, I'm not gonna use that if someone's gonna help me use. We'll use it. Who's up? Emily, go ahead, you had your hand up.
Like the whole family thing, I've been kind of going through a lot. On Tuesday, I had to drop my boyfriend off at prison in West Virginia to do a 2-year sentence, and it was really hard. And I rode home with his brother in Sandusky, and then rode home from Sandusky to Toledo by myself. And on my ride home from Sandusky to Toledo, I was like, I'm gonna go get high. Like, it's just what I wanted to do. Like, it's the whole ride home, that's all I kept thinking of. And I have 8 months clean off of opiates. And I just be throwing that down the toilet because of how I'm feeling right now. And yeah, it sucks, and it's gonna suck for a long time, but the first thing, I played the tape all the way through now. You know what I mean? Like 8 months ago, if I was like, I wanna go get high, I wouldn't even have questioned it, I would've just went and gotten high. But I can't do that to my family and myself. You know what I mean? Like I was truly dead set on just saying screw it, like I just don't want to feel anything. And thinking of putting her through that, my boyfriend through that, and he's sitting in prison, he can't do anything about that, you know what I mean? And like all the people that I have on my side right now, just thinking about doing that to them and myself was like a huge eye-opener for me. Things have been so crazy lately, and it just scared me that I actually thought that that was okay. You know what I mean? That was the first time since I've been clean where I wanted to go use. Like, genuinely was like dead set on it, and it was really scary. Like, it was just super. Like, I don't even know how to feel. You know what I mean?
What's anybody of our 4 big ideas can tell me what? 3 and 4. Yep. If you don't know what our 4 big ideas are, ask somebody or check out our information. Number 3 is life's hardships are going to come. They're going to come. And this is all drug related, right? But the 4th one is we don't have to make a choice to use drugs to deal with them, ever. Listen to him. He's a smart guy. Very smart guy. Who has our closing poem?
It doesn't really say.
I got it.
Real quickly, before you read that. A couple people, my dear friend Jeff, a couple people said some very kind things about me personally. This is not my program. This is our program, and really where, God, I don't want to offend anybody about this, but we really got to give kudos to where kudos is, and that's to my grandma, who was the biggest enabler to me for a long time, but she also, when I became sober, was my biggest supporter, that helped me when I was helping myself and put everything she had into helping me make this program of ours is what it is today. And this is hard to say, but it's true. I thank my mom for not making it and choosing to end her life. And that's a twisted thing to say, but I'm grateful she did kill herself, because if she didn't, I wouldn't have gone through what I did, and I wouldn't be as thankful I am to survive it, to have the life that I have today. So that's being able to, and everybody in here has gone through trauma, you take that trauma, you learn to cope with it effectively using a balanced, holistic lifestyle, and it becomes an asset in your life. That's recovery to me. When you're not hurting yourself over what was done to you or what you witnessed, you don't have to do that. But give credit where credit's due. It's, it's God, it's my grandma, it's the people in this room, and it's yourselves for getting your own act together that makes this program roll the way it is. I'm just a participant. I'll pay you that $5 for saying that. Go ahead, brother.
Autobiography in 5 short chapters. 1. I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I am lost. I am hopeless. It isn't my fault. It takes forever to find the way out. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place. But it isn't my fault. It takes a long time to get out. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it is there. I still fall in. It's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It is my fault. I get out immediately. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. I walk down another street.
Thanks for coming, everybody.